And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 50 of Hansons on Hiatus. I'm your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Woohoo, 50.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. That's a mile marker, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
think
52 weeks would be a year, so we're like 2 weeks shy of a year.
It is 50 episodes of a husband and wife talking together about their lives. Yes, that is an accomplishment and a milestone.
Yes. So if you've been listening to the last few episodes, we've been covering some of my Super Bowl trip and some of your staying at home with my parent things.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Staying in Mexico.
Exactly. So we're going to go over some of the things that happened to us in both of our, individual experiences in between Mexico and Las Vegas. But don't forget to support the podcast, buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can follow, like, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all of them.
All the things.
Yeah. But, like when I think at last episode, I talked about being able to work the Super Bowl and the halftime show and everything like that, and you have to be able to take time off and this and that.
Yeah.
I found out something that people do while rehearsing and whatever Super Bowl they're working. A couple people that I talked to, and actually one of the ones that stayed with us, Angela, they do things like DoorDash, Uber Eats, things like that. So
easy kind of side hustles.
She does this back home, and when she's here and she has downtime, like at night, she would go out and make money because
cool.
She just rented a car. And I guess if you're already a driver or already a delivery person or whatever, you can just like turn it on wherever you're at.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
like Uber or something.
Yeah. So she rented a car, and, after we get home from rehearsal, she's like, I'm going to go out and, do some Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever she does. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you said last time, but they do pay you. The Super Bowl is paying you to be there. It's not a volunteer thing, but you're not getting paid a lot, but it's a good amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, it comes. I can't remember how much it is, like a few $100s or. I mean, we get paid like
that's like minimum wage,
12.
right?
Well, more than that. It's like $11-12 an hour or something like that. So it usually covers my hotel or car rental, depending on what it is. So like last year, I didn't pay for my flight. It was free. I didn't pay to stay anywhere because I stayed with my buddy. And then I rented a car for the whole time. And so that basically paid for it. So it really was just kind of like out my food and drink, which I was going to be, if I was just here, I'd be paying for food and drink anyway,
Exactly.
So
that's cool.
So I think some people do try to make a little bit more money while they're there, so they can kind of offset the differences. So it's kind of like not costing them anything.
Because that is very unique for someone to be able to take off, like we were saying last time, 2 full weeks to rehearse. And then the schedule isn't, they give you the schedule, but it's kind of, if you have a daytime job, it's going to get in the way of it, or a nighttime job. So,
but I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. Good idea to be able to make some money. This next one, this is just like a funny little lost in translation story that you'll be used to here.
Yes.
But I was riding with Juan, and Juan's from Guatemala, and his wife is Mexican. So obviously both speak Spanish.
Yes.
And we were riding, and I can't remember if he just like scratched his nose or if I did or whatever. But I was like, "How do you say booger in Spanish?" And he's like, "What?" I was like, "Booger." How do you say booger in Spanish? And he was like, "Hamburguesa." And I was like, "What?" I was trying to figure out why they would call like, but I was like, like in your nose. He's like, "Yeah, hamburguesa." And I was like, "What?" And then after a minute or two of confusion, I realized he thought I was saying burger.
Oh, burger,
yeah,
not booger.
He was like, "Yeah, booger, booger."
A booger.
Yeah, booger.
A boogie.
Yeah. So I was like, I know what hamburguesa is, obviously, but I didn't understand why he was calling it that.
What do you call a burger? A hamburger. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, is it because the little seeds on the bun, or is like little pieces of meat that fall off or something?
Grosser. Like, do you eat it or something?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. And he's like, "Oh, burger."
But so what's booger?
He has a booger. Yeah,
it's just a booger.
Booger.
Oh,
Hamburguesa. Yeah, so I thought that was funny. But Juan also got in a little bit of trouble while we were there, and I want you to let me know if it's my fault at all, or if I feel bad.
Nate Hanson, what'd you do getting your friend in trouble?
So one day we were driving to rehearsals as me, Juan, and Angela, and Juan had his car because he drove there, and he gets a call from his wife on the way there right before we're about to park, and he puts it on speakerphone, and it's just. And I can't really understand it, but I can, hear she's speaking Spanish because,
lighten him up in Spanish.
just going off. And I was like, I don't know what she's saying, but I know she is not happy.
You left and forgot to put your dirty socks in the hamper.
Yeah. So I was like, what the fuck? And she's just like super mad. And of course, right when we get there, we have to give up our phones, so we're not allowed to have our phones out.
Yeah.
So,
oh no! So he just knows, like,
yeah. So Angela and I went into practice, and he waited out in the car and talked to her for a little bit, and she, I guess, was saying, you better come home right now. You better leave immediately. All your shit's gonna be on the lawn.
Oh, no.
We're done.
Oh, no.
All this, and I'm like, oh fuck, what happened? And he's
do?
trying to figure out, like, oh, did he get caught like talking to somebody or something,
Did I
or
leave my email up?
yeah, or something like that. Not like he's doing anything,
Yeah.
but it turns out that right before we had gone. When we went to opening night for the Super Bowl, where all the teams come out and everything.
Yeah. That was
and
very cool.
and you sit in the stadium. Me, Juan, and Angela were there, and I'd posted pictures and videos from being there, and she was not a fan of us three taking pictures together. She thought something was going on with Angela.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. I thought you meant like you guys took pictures with the cheerleaders behind you or something. I thought maybe she'd be mad at that.
No, it was literally just us sitting in the stands, so it was like me on the right, Juan in the middle, and Angela on the other side.
Yeah.
And I just, hold my phone up and take a picture of us three.
Selfie.
So we all like lean in because we're sitting in the stadium seats.
Oh.
And she didn't like that. Well, why is she always next to you? Why is she never next to Nate? And I kind of tried to, I told him, I was like, well, first of all, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're all just friends. She's like, and Angela's like, he's like my little brother. Like, I
Yeah.
don't look at him like that at all. It's like.
They're quite a bit different in age too, right? She's like a mom, like an adult mom, and he's like our age, right? Or
No, I think he might be a couple years older than me. I mean, he has
Yeah.
2 kids.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, his kids are like in their teens, and she has a kid that's like 23 or something like that.
So she's probably a little bit older.
Yeah,
Probably
well,
50s.
Well,
and you guys are
regardless,
40s.
like it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, really, it's just because I'm holding my phone up. If she was on the other side of me, she wouldn't be able to get in the picture. Usually, when you take like a selfie with a bunch of people, you have to be on one side or the other.
Right, and you always take them, and
Yeah.
Juan's your buddy, so you're
And I'm obviously sitting next to Juan, and
Yeah.
she's known Juan before me
Oh, okay.
they met at the Super Bowl in LA.
Ooh.
So and so they've been on, we've been on teams for 2 years. They've been on teams together for 3 years.
Yeah.
So they know each other well. I don't know what it was, but that set her off.
That's crazy.
And
I have questions.
yeah.
Number one, does she not realize that there are women at the Super Bowl
Yes.
working? And then number two, did she know Angela was staying with you guys, or
Exactly.
no?
And I guess like she wasn't like a huge fan of it, but he was like, she's like, I think he kind of like not talk shit about her, but it was like, oh, she's
Downplayed
she's
it.
by herself, like, or she's it's nothing like that or
Yeah,
whatever,
Which it isn't.
Yeah. So yeah, like we were staying in an apartment together, and that's what you're worried about, us leaning in.
Yes.
And it wasn't like she was being like, some kind of girl guy friend relationships are kind of more touchy feely, like you're just hanging,
Yeah.
your arm around them or something like that. Nothing like that. We all just leaned in and took
Yeah.
photos. So
I saw them. I wouldn't think anything of it. Yeah, you guys are all just kind of like squished to get in the selfie because you're getting all the background stuff
Yeah.
going on,
So- yeah, so he was freaked out that she was gonna like throw all his shit out in the lawn because spicy Latina. She was not playing. So
Watch out.
yeah. So he's calling his friend, and then he called his brother, tried to talk to her or whatever, and like she's furious,
Oh my
and
God.
she had told them different things than what had actually happened. They're like, oh, they're hanging all over each other, or whatever. It was like, no, that's not it. So he's like, I have to go home to like save my family, basically.
Yeah,
So
I don't know what she's doing.
so this was like 4 days before the Super Bowl. And I was like, oh man, like you've been here for like a week and a half, practice all this. And he's like, I gotta go home. And he drove. So he, after practice that night, he drove through the night and got home at like 4 a.m. in California. And we didn't think we were gonna see him again.
Yeah.
Because
was his stuff okay?
Yeah, he said it was okay.
Are they okay?
I don't know. I didn't really like get into it, but it worked out good because then he only missed out the next day's practice, and then we had 2 days off before the Super Bowl. So he had time to like smooth, and that's what I told him. I was like, you got plenty of time to come back. You're not missing any more practices. You know, it should be fine. So I don't know. Is it my fault that I posted these photos? I mean, if I thought he was doing something wrong, I wouldn't have posted them, and him the same. Like he would have been like, take those down or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
like he probably didn't think anything of it.
Clearly, if he was doing something sneaky, why would we post those?
Right.
You know, that wouldn't make any sense.
Exactly. Or maybe she could also think like, you're just taking these pictures, but you don't know what's going on, you know, between them. But I don't think it's your fault, because as your friend Juan should have said, FYI, my significant other is jealous or a little crazy sometimes. Don't post any pictures of me. Or when you guys took the pictures, and Juan knows you, your whole trip, you guys were posting everything, beers and UFO stuff and all those things. So he should know. Especially you, if you're taking a picture, it's being posted. So he should have said, don't post that, or don't tag me, or don't, you know, whatever. Like, we've had friends do that in the past. Like, I'm not here tonight. Don't put me in anything or tag me. And you're
I'm
like,
supposed to be at work. Or,
yeah,
you know, whatever.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that was awkward. Oh, and also
I don't think
she went on my, since I tagged him, she could see the photos, obviously. And she commented on every one of her. And she said some shitty stuff. Like
Spanish?
It was all in Spanish. Like, pinche punta, blah, blah, blah. But then I translated it. It didn't make sense, you know, translated on Facebook. It was like something about like this old hag and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And like, she was like being pretty rude to her. So I blocked her, his wife, so she couldn't see any of my posts that I tag him in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now it's like awkward because I've never met his wife. I FaceTimed with her, like when, you know, he was FaceTime and he's like, hey, say hi to Nate. And he's like, see, we're not drinking. Like, she was worried about him drinking and driving or whatever. Like, I don't know if that is a thing or if it's just she was worried about him doing that in Vegas because, you know, out of the element, it's crazy or whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
but
I would say the same thing to you. Don't be drinking and driving.
And we didn't. I mean, or like he didn't. Like if we went anywhere where he was going to drink, he would just have one beer or or we would Uber. You know, so it wasn't a thing, but like she was all about that.
I don't think you should feel awkward because it's like you posted pictures of you two. You didn't know, you know, what was going on. And she might be like, thank you, Nate, for exposing my husband or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's fine. They'll get over it. And I don't know.
I hope so. I just felt really bad that because like they were like getting a divorce basically. And I was like, oh my God, I caused this.
I can see that, like, you know, we can't all be as cool as me. Go live your life, Nate, and do whatever you want. I'm just kidding. But like, she is probably frustrated. She's probably at home, you know, alone with the kids, working, doing her normal thing, seeing you guys taking pictures with cheerleaders and having fun and beers and, you know, Area 51. She's probably like, even though she knew he was going on this trip, she probably is like a little salty about it.
Yeah, maybe. But he does it every year. And he bought her a car because he was taking the car to Vegas or whatever. So he bought like a second vehicle so she would have transportation and stuff.
She needs to
relax. Yeah.
Juan's a good guy. I've never met him, but he seems like a great guy. So
yeah, no, he is a good dude. So hopefully everything's all good. He did get to come back, just, you know, finish the story off. That he came back, was able to do the Super Bowl, and he's like, I think this is my last one, but you know, he's like, that's at least he got to do the actual game, so that's cool.
Plenty of time till next year, Juan. You never know.
Yeah,
you might be able to come back.
Exactly. Yeah. One of the other things I noticed in Vegas was there's a lot of like hobo type people around, which
homeless people.
Yeah, I guess, which is, you know, normal in a big city like that has like money around. You know, there's a lot in Denver because when they legalized weed, everybody came there and then they were like, oh shit, I don't have a job, I'll just be a bum or whatever.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's cold.
So we were at a stoplight and I look over and there's a dude just sleeping on the fucking sidewalk, like not even like off to the side. He's literally at the crosswalk.
He didn't have like a little camp or anything. He's just hanging out.
No, it looks like he just sat down and took a fucking nap.
Aww. Oh,
Yeah,
he's
and-
probably so tired.
yeah. And then there was this other guy in kind of like one of those wheelchair walker kind of thing. Oh, it has wheels on it.
Another homeless man?
No, this is just a dude. I don't know. He might have been. But he was trying to go down the sidewalk, and there's this fucking hobo speed bump there.
Oh, no.
And
He's in the way.
yeah, he's in the way. He's like, never mind. I'm going to go this way, I guess. So he turns around.
What if you tried to ramp him?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
And then another thing I thought was funny was when we were at Fremont Street, which is that where they have covered it now and it has like the light.
Oh, yeah. The light show. And
Yeah,
everything,
thing on the ceiling. Yeah.
ceiling.
There are these people getting their wedding photos there.
Oh,
But there
that's
is
common.
yeah, but there's a lot of like bums around there too, and so they're getting their wedding photos, and there are these two guys in wheelchairs in the back, like these two homeless guys, just
Oh my
clapping
God.
their hands.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
God.
like, oh, those are gonna be great wedding photos.
Were they homeless people or were they part of their wedding? Maybe they're the wedding party.
Yeah, maybe they were the best man.
That could just been the
And-
grandpas.
yeah, the grandpa. They reminded me of the two, the old guys from the Muppets. Up
Oh,
in the corner.
yeah, like the
Hey,
peanut
hey,
gallery.
hey.
I bet those photos are great.
Oh yeah, I'm
Remember
sure.
forever. Oh my gosh.
Let's see. What else do I got here? How did I get in to the dance team? So I don't know if you saw
Oh yeah.
some of my my videos and pictures and stuff. So I'm part of it's called the field team, and I was part of the team that puts the stage together.
Right.
So you wheel it out there and we hook it up and everything. We run off the field.
And that's what takes so long. That's why you go like 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, because you guys have to practice putting this stage together, because you only have like 6-7 minutes during commercials to get it together. So that's like, everybody's like, what is he doing though? I'm like, he's practicing putting Usher's stage together.
Yeah. So they also have the cast team, and those are the people that are either the dancers or they're just when they have they make it look like a crowd's come out and they're like at a concert and they have all these kind of like
yeah.
extras or whatever.
Yeah. Always wondered about them.
Yeah, so they have that team as well. Well, I guess when they were doing the camera blocking to make sure, like the different angles that they were going to cut to during the show.
Yeah.
This one part, there wasn't enough people to like fill out the back. They wanted it to look more full, just the camera angle.
Yeah, of course.
So they needed a couple extra people.
Oh.
Well, so we didn't know this is what was happening. So we're sitting in the stadium. Usually when we get there, we eat and we're just sitting there waiting for things to start or whatever. And these two guys come up and they're like giving stickers to people.
Oh.
And they're just like looking at people, but nobody's like, when they give one to somebody, other people aren't like, oh, give me one, which is what I thought would happen. So I'm talking to Juan and I'm like, oh, they're probably like, that's probably what they're doing. They probably need more people for the dance team, and you're gonna be on the fucking field. And he's like, no, he's like, they probably need people to like roll out the tarp or whatever that would roll over the field or whatever.
That's fine. I'll help.
I was like, yeah, maybe, because they're not like, if it was for the dance team or to be on the field, you think everybody would be asking for one, but nobody really was. They were just randomly giving these to people.
Yeah.
And Juan's like, go get one. And I was like, no, let's just see what's going on, because I don't like, I wasn't really sure.
Feel it out first.
And then they said, okay, if you got a sticker, go up to the top of the stadium and meet with blah blah blah.
Oh.
And so I was like, I'm gonna go up there and see what's going on. I didn't get a sticker.
Oh.
And
Just
so
went.
I go up there and they're giving out radios and these like little glow things for their hand, for the
Ooh.
wrist.
Oh.
And
Radios.
yeah, like a little radio, like with a earpiece or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I'm just gonna walk up there and grab one. I'll just say I threw my sticker away.
Yeah.
So I grab one and the light things, and I find out that is what's happening. I am now on the dance team. I'm gonna be in the fucking Super Bowl presentation.
Yes.
So I kind of faked my way into it.
Oh my God, that's so
So
funny.
when they call people down to go meet to figure out what we're doing, and so the headphones are like the stage manager talking to literally everybody. So when we're out there on doing the Super Bowl halftime show, everybody has those in, and there's somebody talking to all of us, telling us where to go. Like, oh, go to Mark 2, swirl out, do these different like motions.
Like even when you're putting the stage together, you have?
No, it's
Oh,
just like the cast people, like
okay,
the
okay.
dancing and everything.
Gotcha.
So I go down there, or so I get one, go down there, and I'm just waiting to figure out what I'm doing, and it's like, oh, that is it. And I look at the people that they picked, and I'm the only white guy, and I was like, oh, they were picking people that looked Like they could dance and fashionable. So I'm like, I'm like the token white guy here.
That's me. They're like, who picked this guy?
Yeah, they're right.
Who
Yeah,
picked Nathan?
yeah. So, but I think I just blended in. So I don't know how, but
That's good.
Yeah.
I would be like, ask me any song, like you. Ask me any song, I'll rap it right now. I'll know it. They'd be like, you're in.
So the first rehearsal so there's some people that have a choreographed dance, and then there's some that are just like the crowd or whatever.
You're not one of the girls on like the stripper pole or
No,
whatever.
this is like 3 days before the Super Bowl.
Ugh.
So like all these, these other dancers that are out here on the field and stuff. Like there's a certain point where they all spread out and they do this choreographed dance.
Ah.
And they told us, they're like, since you're on the back or whatever, just kind of spread out and just freestyle dance, just dance, like just fucking get
like
down.
You're at a concert. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Get down.
but there was this one point that we're supposed to like kind of run off the field.
Yeah.
And when we were doing that, they were like, okay, swirl out. And so we run out and we're like getting off the field. And I noticed everybody had like stopped and started doing this dance. So all of us, this is like 30 of us from the field team, just stop, and we all start trying to copy the other dance. So we're all doing these moves and just trying to like keep up or whatever. And then they're like, stop, cut.
Like,
They're
no.
like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. So we're like, oh shit.
Oh, God.
So we all just jumped into it like, oh, we're doing the fucking dance.
You're like, we appreciate you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This isn't Simon Says.
Yeah. Oh shoot. So that was interesting.
That's fun.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to bring up is some of the kind of the behind the scenes stuff. How Alicia Keys' cape worked.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you guys probably saw it from front and above, you know,
Yeah.
like when it flies away.
Yeah, when it's flowing.
There's actually 4 people in there underneath the cape with those like black bodysuit kind of things.
Oh, yeah. So
And-
you can't see him.
2 of them have these giant poles that are like connected to the 2 corners of it, and then there's
Oh.
2 other dudes with 2 leaf blowers just under there, just going like that. And so when it like flies away,
Yeah.
they just like detach it, and then they just run with it underneath it, so you can't see it.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
We
super
wondered
crazy.
how, because we knew you were going to be on the field and we're like looking for you. And your mom was like, do you think he's under Alicia Keys' cape? And I was like, I hope Nate is under Alicia Keys' cape. That would be amazing, but probably not.
Yeah. Let's see. And so I wanted to say I do have more video. I was trying to figure out a way to film it while I was on, out there.
Yeah.
Because no phones, because you're part of the show, so you can't have your phone out and
Yeah.
stuff. So I bought these Amazon these camera glasses on Amazon and had them delivered to the 7-Eleven Amazon box like down the street on the corner.
Of course.
And so I get those, and I took them out, and I kind of tested them, and at Fremont Street one night, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. So I wore them out there for the show. It just doesn't sound great because remember phones back in like the 2000s. If you did a concert, it was like
Yeah, it's just
it was,
like
super
blowing out the
loud.
speaker.
Yeah, so obviously the microphone on some camera glasses aren't
Yeah.
great for being front row to fucking Usher.
Yeah, and it's so loud there. and
Yeah, so I'm trying to
echoey.
clean it up and see if I can clean the audio up. So I'll see if I can post that.
Just maybe post the video silent and then put just Usher songs on the background.
Yeah, yeah, something. So yeah, that's about it. Oh, one funny comment on one of my posts from Jordan. He goes, "Bro moved from Atlanta to Mexico and traveled to Vegas to watch an Atlanta concert." I love it.
Yes, I love that meme. It really, the Super Bowl was the Super Bowl Atlanta
Oh,
deserved.
totally.
The roller skates, the throwbacks, all the rappers, all the dancers, the strippers, the band, like the marching band. Everything was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like it really should
It
have
was
been.
awesome. I was right next to Will I Am before he got up on stage in the futuristic suit.
Yeah.
I thought it was Kanye because he had the mat or the
Yeah.
head thing on, and you couldn't see him. Kanye's kind of weird like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, I'm like right next to Kanye. So I think I got some good like camera video of him standing there.
Good.
But that's why I do have a couple good clips because once we got out there, everybody forgot all the rules. People had their phones out or like filming, which I guess isn't terrible because that's what you do at a concert. So it would look more natural.
Look real.
So that's why I got that good one of like Ludacris coming out and then a couple
Yeah.
other ones just because I was like, I'm going to pull my phone out because everybody else was. So I
I
got a couple
wondered
good
about
clips.
that because I saw a few people in your video with their phones out, and I was like, oh, I wonder if he's allowed to have it, but
Yeah, I wouldn't have, other than I saw other people bringing them out, because
Like,
I
they're
didn't
not
want to
gonna
get in
stop
trouble.
us.
Yeah,
They're not gonna stop us
And
now.
when am I going to do that again? Because that was just by chance that I got onto the cast team.
Yeah. That was some great video. Ludacris was right there. Those dancers. It was right there. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was super cool. I'm trying to, Ludacris was right there. I think I told the story. Yeah, first day that Usher rehearsed with us, I gave him like a fist bump. And,
that's great. Still haven't washed the hand.
No. Let's see. All right. Well, those are a couple more stories from my trip. I think you have a couple bullet points from when you were hanging with my parents for 2 weeks.
I do. It's all
Godspeed.
it's all kind of a blur. We had some good time. I mean, we went to dinner a few times. We did some walks. We did some shopping. We did all sorts of stuff. We go to one of our favorite bars down the street, Freaky Tiki. It's like bar and grill. We went there a lot because it's close to our house, and your parents love it. It's like, their age group, their clientele.
It's kind of like a Key West bar.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good old hole-in-the-wall bar you could probably find anywhere in the States, and
good
they have
food,
great
good music.
food, good prices, good live music all the time. So we went there a few times, and your dad is now friends with the owner of Freaky Tiki.
Of course he is.
Because they have a lot in common. They both were in the military. They both have like different fishing stories. They hit it off, so they're buddies now. So, like, sometimes your dad's a little forgetful, and we remind him of things again. And Peter said the funniest thing, the owner. He was like, we were, like, saying things to your dad and then reminding him of something or other. It was, like, a funny story that they had told the night before. And your dad was like, oh, like, put it together. That was this guy or something like that. And he goes, check mark. And I was like, what? He's like, check mark. But he meant, like correct mark, like a check and then for Mark. So I'm like, oh my God, that's your new nickname, check mark.
Check mark.
When we have to tell you something, instead of saying see, Claro, yes, no, whatever, we're just gonna say check mark. I was like, how have we never thought of that? His name is Mark. It was so funny. God. Probably had to be there.
Yeah.
What else did I say? Oh, but your parents, they're having a great time. They need to learn how to relax. Remember when we first moved here and we were like vacation mode for a couple weeks, and then we were like, where's, our daily grind, 9 to 5 all day long doing things. But, that you don't have to do that here. So I'm trying to teach them how to relax while they're here. You don't have to sit in your place all day. You can go up to the pool. You can go to the beach. You can go to both if you want. You can do whatever you want. So we're trying to get them to relax a little bit more. And, your mom's usually with me or the pool. She loves the pool. Your dad goes out on walks all day long. Yeah. He'll be gone for like 8 hours walking all day. And then he'll come back and tell us these tales. And it's so funny because he just looks like a kid. Like he's experiencing Mexico for the first time, even though you guys have been coming since the 80s. They have. Yeah. And everything he's reliving for the first time. And it's so exciting. I saw a guy, he has a whole cart with snacks. And that's what he does every morning. And I say hi to him. We're like, yeah, he's by the beach. They sell, trinkets and snacks and different things to eat. And he's like, oh, that's amazing. There's this guy that has fresh juice. And, he walks all the way down the ferry port. He's like, there's these guys that dance on this pole. They're like climbing up and dancing down. They do this Mexican dance. And he keeps calling them pole dancers. Oh, yeah. And we're like, well, they're not pole dancers. It's the Flying Birdmen. And it's a, I don't know, traditional Mayan ceremony dance thing that, yes, they are on the pole. So he's like, I just feel like when we first started coming to Mexico and all the things that we love, and we still love them, but he's like so excited. Like he's just seeing it for the first time. Like, this is amazing. And I'm so happy for him. Yeah. It's just hilarious though. But I have no idea where he walks all day.
I don't either. We need to follow him, though.
I'm going to follow him where we need to. The next day that we're free and he's going. But he's just like back and forth up Fifth, where we don't normally want to walk all of Fifth, especially down to the ferry where it's more touristy. But he just walks up and down all day, checks things out, sees new things, goes visits Walmart, all that stuff. But the one day, the best thing that happened, and I can't remember if I sent you the video. I probably did, but your dad's up at the pool. We're all up there, and there's a couple Canadian couples that are here with their grandkids. They're on vacation for a few months. So they're up there same time pretty much every day. They talk, they become friends. They're shooting the shit. They're having beers. And then I come back downstairs. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start getting ready. We'll go to dinner later or whatever. And your mom sends me this video and is telling me what's going on up there. I go back up. I don't know what that was. Go back up. And your dad is literally jumping in the pool with this Canadian woman and holding hands. Like they're 5 years old, jumping in the pool. And your dad hates anything cold.
Right.
Cold weather, cold water. And that pool is always cold up there. He's just jumping in like he's 5 years old, living it up. Your mom's taking video, cracking up. It was the best day
Good
ever.
for them. I'm glad they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I was like, make
Relaxing.
friends. There's so many people around here that are just like you guys from the Midwest. They're retired. They're just looking for some good food and friends and some live music, and they love it too. So I'm like pushing them to go out. I'm not going to go out tonight. You guys go see this band or go see this special or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're having a great time.
Good for them. I'm happy.
I'm happy too.
Well, next Saturday?
Yes.
Is it your birthday?
Yeah, next Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday.
I don't know.
Yeah. 40th birthday.
Yes,
And
big one.
so you have some of your girlfriends coming in town this weekend.
Yes.
From Orlando, maybe?
Everyone's coming from Florida
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ones you invited from Atlanta weren't able to come or didn't have a passport or have kids or
Yeah, all the things.
Yeah, so,
life, I totally get it.
Totally.
And coming to Mexico, it's not like just going to Florida. You have to have a passport and a flight and everything, but it's not too far. I'm not making everybody go to like Greece or something.
So you have your girlfriends coming in.
Yep.
What are the plans? And what are your concerns?
I have more concerns than plans. I feel like I need to swap them.
Yeah.
I'm always that way. I have all the anxiety right out of the gate, like before everyone gets here and what's going to happen and think of all the things that could happen. And then once they get here, everything will be fine and go out the window. But we're going to go to, a lot of pool days, beach days. We're going to go to Cozumel one day, hired a driver to drive us around. So that'll be fun. Go see like the back side of the island, the uninhabited side, and then go to the front side and see that. Just kind of be bouncing around. Brunch is planned. Just some easy things. Because a couple of the girls have kids. So they're just ready to like get out and relax and drink everything. So
I'm sure.
That's what they want to do.
And that's what we talked about. Initially, you guys were going to go to Isla Mujeres and get a big Airbnb there.
Right.
But then I was like, why don't you just have them come here? They're coming to on vacation technically to Mexico. So they don't care where they're going to be. It's going to save you money. You can stay here. You can show them all the favorite things you like to do on the weekends or whatever. So you're just kind of doing your normal things, but with some of your good girlfriends from the U.S.
And it's nice that my bestie has a condo here too. So they can stay with her. A couple other found Airbnbs, but it's nice that, between me and Chrissy, we have a lot of resources here that we can use to help us have a good time over the weekend. Isla Mujeres, we don't know, we could get screwed by somebody. We could, waste more time and money. It's a little bit harder to navigate there. But here we have friends, we have, family.
And there's not as much to do there. It's kind of, go to the beach, maybe do a snorkel tour or something. But here there's more variety of things.
Here we can actually go to the clubs one night. We can go, to the beach. There's beach clubs. There's a little more affordability here than I think is Isla Mujeres.
So what are you worried about?
Drinking, I don't know. No, just like when girls get together, just everything goes out the window. But I've known all these girls for a really long time. Half of them have been my bridesmaids. They're all, I love them all. They're all very reliable and trustworthy. I'm just scared that when we get together, we get together.
Yes.
So when we're in the States, it's you don't hear from me for 48 hours. I'm like, we went out. It's done.
Right.
So that's all, because I don't really get that crazy anymore, but this is worth it.
Yeah.
This is worth
it'll be a good time. It'll be fun.
I'm excited. I'm so happy. I'm so thankful and happy that they all could make it here and that they're spending their time and money here and for me.
So.
And I'm glad they get to get a break. And it's another one of the girls, Rebecca's birthday. So feliz cumpleaños, Rebecca.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. So a couple birthdays and a boat full of girls.
All right. Well, I'm sure next weekend we'll have some stories about that.
We're gonna have lots
or
of
next
stories.
Friday.
I'm sure I'm gonna have you on call. Like, Nate, we need you.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're in town too, and they all love you too. So
Yeah. Well, just remember, I don't have a car, so I can't come pick you up.
True. How do you get us out of Mexican jail?
I will bicycle you home one by one.
Yes. Maybe get a lawyer's phone number on speed dial.
Right.
Just kidding.
Oh yeah. So it'll be a good time. I'm excited for
It's
you.
gonna be
So,
good.
yeah.
I'm excited to do this for 40 and have my friends around. So
Yes.
it'll be great. And then I have a bunch of, friends here in Playa del Carmen. They can all meet, and that's gonna be even better. When brunch Sunday, I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna be there. So watch out, Vagabunda.
Yeah.
We're going there. Watch
Oh,
out.
All right. Well, I think that's good for this week. Next week, we'll have some stories about your girlfriends being here. I have a couple more stories from Vegas, Area 51, some other things. So we will get to that next week. But don't forget to support the podcast. If you are enjoying it and you'd like to donate, we'd really appreciate it. You can buy us some virtual beers. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on hiatus. And also follow, subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts, at Hansons on hiatus. But until then, hope you guys have a great and safe rest of your weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.